Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me see. Remember how excited I was when I built this? This is now busted. I'm gonna have to figure out a way of fixing it. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday night. Get this back just a little bit. There we go. I got I got a rash. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got heat, prickly heat. Hello, hello, hello. I'll give everybody some time to get in here and then I will say hi to everybody in a minute. I'm so tired and I didn't do anything, but the heat, um, we burned probably $100 in gasoline just running the generator through the hottest parts of the day so we could run the air conditioning in the motorhome. And then at night, as the sun went down, or as we were going to bed, we'd shut the air conditioning off, open all the windows, and put the big box fan. How we rigged up speaker wires, and he put the box fan, hung the box fan right in front of the window on his side of the bed. So we brought in cool. We brought cool air in. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what though. Got home and I went straight into the garden. And the pickle and cucumbers were numerous, and some of them were really big and orange, which means I missed them last time I picked. I got one zucchini out of two beds. One. I don't know what's going on with the zucchini, but I tell you what, next year if I'm planting 8 beds of climbing beans, I'm not planting them all next to each other. I'm going to plant them around the garden so that because it's a jungle. They just like they're reaching for each other across beds and tangling my ankles. And oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Everybody say hi now. Everybody say hello. Who's, wants me to see them because then I can say hi back because you'll all be in the participation list. So I came home, picked cucumbers, picked beans. A lot of work picking beans for very little reward, but they're going to go in the dehydrator tomorrow. One zucchini, so I don't know if I'm going to can it or not. And I might just pull out my smaller canner and do it. And then I've got pickles to make. So I might do a live at the table tomorrow. I did a bit of a garden video, but I'm not sure I'm going to have the energy to upload it tonight. All right. Has everybody come in and said hello, hello, hello? All right. Let's look at the participants list. See if everybody's done their job. Oh, it's a nice big long one. Brazen Hearted. Brenda here. Oh my goodness. We haven't seen you in a while, Brenda. Christina Rubino. Is that Italian? Diane Maison. Paula, hi. Jack Malkowski. Judith Ann, hi. Judy Kent, Kat C, Kathy Acevedo. It's still jumping. Lacey Black, Leanne Bishop, Linda Bopp, hello, darling. Marl Richardson, Meredith Cook, Minnesota Farmer's Wife, Julie, Mama Gans, it's been a bit. My Dog Eats Jeans, 72. Nice name. Here's Johnny. How you doing, Patricia Carson? Redheaded PM, Rosita Slade, Sarah Goldie, Snacky T99, Stephanie Alexander, Sybil V, and Terry McKinney. How's everybody doing tonight? Brazen Spirituality. That's what I thought. I know, honey, I haven't forgot about you, but it is hard. You're pickling carrots tomorrow. I find it hard sometimes when you change your name. Corey! Hey, baby. How's it going? Yeah, well, my beans I'm going to be dehydrating. They're not growing. Like I overcrowded the planting last year. So I did planted less in the beds this year. Sorry, I've got an itch. And I'm in my pajamas. Because I tell you, I came home, sprayed myself with bug spray, went right into the garden, did my picking. I had to get Howie to come and take the 5-gallon pail of cukes and stuff. It was too heavy for me to carry. And then I went into the pool, went from picking to the pool. And then I got wrapped up in a towel and I put sausages in the Italian sausages in the air fryer. See, I get prickly feet. You can't really see it. I get these red and they itch. See, that's a better shot of it. But it was like right down here yesterday. So it's starting to cool off and it's all over my chest. So I went to the garden, did my picking, went into the pool, had a swim, came in, put supper in the air fryer, then went and had a shower. And then I got in my PJs and we had supper and watched some TV. And yeah, I'm beat. I'm just exhausted. But I haven't been able to do anything. Still renovating my fifth wheel. Really? Canning cauliflower. Ooh. Would you cornstarch help to heat? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Never even thought. You're sitting right next to me. But I didn't have it with me, right? Yes, it will help. Yes, it will help. Cornstarch, baby. Cornstarch, baby. Cornstarch, baby. There we go. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Got 14 pints of beans today. I got 8 beds of beans and like I got enough again for another meal. So I'll be dehydrating them tomorrow. I'll be snapping them and blanching them and dehydrating them tomorrow. Of course, make a mess of myself. Oh, I've been knee deep in green beans, 21 quarts. If I don't start seeing them, I may have to go. Like we're going to see the kids this coming weekend. And I said to Howie, they may have a farmer's market there's probably a couple of good farmers markets in Kingston. So might be doing that. My tomatoes are going red like mine aren't, but I got some nice medium-sized tomatoes. So again, I'm going to be cutting the tops off. Howie's got to whippersnip so I can. Hey, Fairy, how's it going? Rosita Slade. Get a washcloth, soak it with white vinegar, and wipe where you have prickly heat. It will clear it up in about 24 hours. Okay, but it's almost gone. It's getting away. Like it's not so bad. It's like I find it's where when I'm sleeping, my boobs and everything kind of folds together, and the skin sweats and rubs. Going to dry out purslane. Okay, so what do you, Kathy, what do you do when you dry it out? I had a shit ton of purslane in my beds this year, and I just didn't have the time. But I got a nice sumac tree, not poison sumac, the red sumac. And I'm going to see if I can't make some sumac tea for the winter, because it's like my Uncle Bill used to call it Indian lemonade. The sumac berries are very acidic and they're loaded with vitamin C. So I weighed a tomato today, 2 pounds. Oh my God, did you take that out of your garden, Sandra? Did you make a big toasted tomato sandwich? I know that everybody's a little bit different. Some people just smash it into butter and white bread. I like mine toasted. Howie likes his toasted with mayo. But I like just a big, thick, old slice of beef steak, organically raised, fresh out of the garden beef steak tomato on. Slap it between 2 pieces of toasted butter and salt and pepper. Oh, I'm waiting for that first tomato. Bigger than bread toasted. Oh, I love that. Love that. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Did you take a picture of it, honey? I typically just eat purslane and put it on my salad. Hello, Kathy Ponder. How are you, darling? Leanne, how are you? Christine, oh, I already said hi to Christina Rubino. Are you Italian, Christina, or is that a married name? Hey, Wilma. Yeah, I want a tomato sandwich. But I mean, there's nothing. I remember back when we were when Howie was building the addition, and Arthur came up for a couple of weeks to help. And I bought him some work boots, and he planted my pear trees for me, and he helped Howie with the addition. Anyway, I took him shopping to go to the grocery store. And in the summertime, we eat a lot of salads and stuff, but we didn't have the tomatoes weren't ready yet, right? Actually, I don't think I planted a garden that year. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, it was 2014. Anyway, we went to the grocery store, and in the section, it was just before tomatoes were coming into season. And there was, like you said, like a 2-pound tomato. And it had the deep green stripes in it and a little bit of burgundy. And I saw that and I grabbed that and I got it, we did the shopping. And Arthur's like his mother. He watches how much things cost, right? So when she weighed the tomato, it came out to $6.49 because it was organic. It was organic heritage tomato. And Arthur goes, whoa, 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 stop. He said, did you just pay $6.49 for a tomato? I said, yes, I did. And he goes, Mom, that's insane. Now we're talking 2014, guys, 10 years ago. And I said, you wait till supper. And come supper, I took the ends off and left myself enough for a sandwich later. But we had steak and salad, or a baked potato, but I sliced that and gave us all each a nice thick slice of this tomato with just salt and pepper on it on the plate. And Arthur goes, Dad, she paid $6.49 for the tomato. And Howie said, it must be a good tomato. I said, you just take a bite of that, Arthur. You take a bite of that. You'll never want to eat a hothouse, tomato again. And he took a bite and he went, oh my God, Mom. Oh, so ads will run shortly for some viewers. I'm not a huge fan of fried green tomatoes. When I have fresh tomatoes in abundance, sometimes I'll grill. I'll make BLT. But what I'll do is I'll cook the bacon and I'll take the bacon out and then I'll just get it the fat really hot and I'll grill like searing the tomato and put it. I'm hoping to have a great week, but I'm really, really tired. Hi, Marcy. What would you use the purslane powder for, honey? Hey, April. I don't have any coconut oil. I do have comfrey oil, but you know what? I just need something to keep it dry, and that's what the cornstarch will do. I'll be fine. It's just we've had a bit of a heat wave here, which is no big deal. It happens every year, just about. In July is they call it the dog days of summer. Black Rock, hey, how's it going? So yeah, came home, went straight into the garden, then went straight into the pool, then went straight into the kitchen and put sausages in the air fryer, then had a shower, and we watched some TV, and then Howie made me an ice cream cone, and this is me now. This is where I am. This is what we're doing. I just kind of wanted to fill you in. Things are going to be dicey for the next couple of days because I have been away. Patrons, I am really, really sorry that, get this. I swore I packed my speaker. Couldn't find it anywhere. Howie brings in the laundry baskets. It's in the bottom of the laundry basket that has the dirty laundry in it from the week. I don't know how it got there. It must have just had a shirt thrown on it or something, and I didn't see it. because the basket looked empty, right? It's like, oh, I feel so stupid. So, hey, Wendy, how's it going? Tomatoes and cucumbers in Italian dressing is good. Listen, hi, we've been jamming. I'm not staying long. I'm going to bed. I'm really hot. I'm probably going to go for another swim. And I actually want to put my hair up, unless I left my hairpins in the bathroom. And if I left my hairpins in the bathroom, I'm going to have to, yeah. What's that? Oh, yeah. Pictures. I'm still finding pictures. So yeah, I have a bit of a garden video, but I think I'm going to save it for whatever I'm making this week. Miss Math Forever. Hello. I'm really tired, and I woke up yesterday morning with a headache, a really bad headache, and I laid in bed till like 2 p.m. Or was that today? No, that was yesterday. And now I got to tell you this. You know how I'm trying to get off my lorazepam, right? Because I'm an insomniac. Well, I have been upping my gummy intake. And because of the holiday, now Howie's work changed insurance companies. So when I phoned my pills in to the drugstore yesterday, they phoned me back and said, your insurance doesn't cover this. And I said, well, I can pay for my lorazepam, but, the rest is going to have to wait till Tuesday because Howie's new plan doesn't come through. He doesn't get his number till Tuesday. And then we couldn't make it for the grocery store. So I've been 3 nights without any lorazepam. And so far, so good. Like, I've been trying to get off it. 2012, I was taking 2 a day, 1 milligrams a day. And then 2015, 19, somewhere around, 15, I went down to 35. And now I'm down to 25. And right now I'm on none. Because I've been taking 25 a month, which means some nights I take 1, some nights I take a half of 1. And I haven't had any I had a half of 1 on Thursday night. So Friday night, no, I didn't have any on Thursday night. I didn't. I remember warning Howie. I said, keep an eye on me because I'm out. And they say, you're not supposed to go off. You're supposed to go off it really gradually, which I've been doing, but I've been out. And I'm going to be out until Tuesday now. So 3 milligrams, Meredith, 3 milligrams a day every 3 hours. I took 2 milligrams a day for years. I have been on lorazepam now for 15, 20 years almost. So why am I stopping? I'll answer that in a second, Meredith. All ads are going to run shortly for some viewers. I'm going to skip those ads so I can sing happy birthday to Leanne. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sweet Leanne. Happy birthday to you and many more. Okay, the reason I'm going off. How old are you? Can I ask how old you are, Meredith? I have been on lorazepam for 15 to 20 years. And I also medicate with marijuana because I'm allergic to opiates. Okay. Raise your hand if you don't know much about my never mind. I'll just give you a brief rundown. I was diagnosed in 2013 with fibromyalgia. Only took them 20 years. Took them 20 years. of trying me on anti-inflammatories and opioids over and over and over and over, all these different kinds, till my system would not tolerate them anymore. I can have an occasional anti-inflammatory. I just can't have anything that's like a gel, right? And I can't do it too often because my body, like an elite, I can't take a leave. But if I were to take an Advil, not a liquid gel, a coated tablet, if I were to do more than 2 of them in a 24-hour period, my legs will start to swell, and my blood pressure will go up and all that stuff. It's because I had a reaction to Celebrex that anti-inflammatories just don't work. It's not that they don't work; they can be dangerous, right? So I can't take aspirin, I can't take Advil, I can't take Aleve, I can't take any anti-inflammatories, no ibuprofen, nothing. I can't take any opioids. I can't take codeine, morphine, Demerol, Dilaudid, hydromorphone. They tried me on tramadol, and I kind of went crazy on tramadol. It interfered with my mood meds. They had me on it for like 3 months. Apparently, you're not supposed to be on it longer than 3 days. And so over the years, my system has been destroyed because they just kept throwing painkillers of one form or another at me. And now I can't take it almost any, right? So I was medical marijuana, designated medical marijuana in 2013, but because it was made legal in 2015. So medical, yeah, it's the only reason Trudeau got in, and now we can't get rid of the cockroach. But anyway, and I voted for him the first time. Yes, I feel personally responsible. It will go down in history as the worst mistake I ever made, was voting for that cockroach. Anyway, the cockroach. Anyway, I was licensed for medical marijuana in 2013 because I can take Tylenol. And that's really, really hard on and I take Tylenol twice a day with a muscle relaxer. And that's really hard on a liver. Why? Because I've been sober for 27 years. I was an active alcoholic for a long time. So my liver, it's like, what are you doing? Tylenol. Tylenol is really hard on your liver, but it's all I can take. So I medicate with marijuana and Tylenol and muscle relaxers. Now, here's the thing. With the fibromyalgia, the goddess's herb, absolutely. Is your back pain meds you got the other day like Tylenol? Yes. What they are, Wendy, is everyone says, where'd you get them at? You can't get them in the United States. They're not legal in the United States because they have a muscle relaxer in them. I'll never forget the first time I took them. I came home. I was in a lot of pain. I came home I was living in Wakefield at the time, and I went over to have coffee at my neighbor's across the road because I pulled in and she said, where you been? I said, oh, I just went to the drugstore. She said, come on over and have a coffee. So I went over and had a coffee, God rest her soul. And I took 2 of them because I was in a lot of pain while I was sitting there. And I just had to go right across the road. But I tell you, when I stood up, I went, woo, because I'd never had them before. They don't do that to me anymore. But it's a Kirkland brand, yes, but you still can't buy it in the States because I remember when we drove to Arizona, Mom, me, Howie, Nan, and Briar drove to Arizona and back one Christmas. Wow. We drove down. Briar had gas so bad all the way down. We all started carrying concentrated little of air freshener. So all Briar go, oh, guys, I'm so sorry. And we go, because it was winter. We couldn't open the windows. So anyway, this is my point. I did some research because I've been having sometimers, which means I'm forget words and things like that. And I started to get concerned. So I did some research and I found out this is what I heard, that there are things you shouldn't take. See, dementia doesn't seem to run in my family. Thank you, God. But there are things that if you know that can hasten if your system is programmed for dementia or early onset, whatever it is. Dementia, what's the other one? What's the other one? It's not senility, it's Alzheimer's and dementia. So I was told by a doctor that MSG, all artificially processed sweeteners, MSG processed sweeteners, over-the-counter sleep aids, and lorazepam will all hasten early on. Will all hasten it. If you're going to get it, it'll come earlier if you use these products. Well, think about this. I have fibro fog, which makes my memory, my short-term memory sketchy at best. I'm on marijuana, which makes my short-term memory sketchy at best. Now, I do, you can't always avoid MSG, but I don't deliberately buy things with MSG in them. And I don't take over-the-counter sleep meds, but I'm trying to get off the lorazepam because between the fibro fog and the marijuana, the lorazepam is the one thing I can get rid of, and it's a pharmaceutical. I'm trying to get rid of pharmaceuticals. Gabapentin, I'm on a mood disorder drug already, so. Oh, you're welcome, Leanne. My last year in my 50s. Oh, you're going to be 60, like me. Well, thank you. Used to be beautiful. Now it's just, tweedle-at, tweedle-at, tweedle-a-dee. Look at my friend back there, Pierre Polyev. So, solitary fairy homestead. Visited traveling in an RV for 3 months in the UP. What's the UP? Yucatan Peninsula? Your place? No, that would be a Y. Yeah, I've been on antidepressants now since Briar was like 9 months old. Now, if I had known better, I would have given up the alcohol then, right? Because then I was still controlling it, right? Like I only drank on weekends and shit like that. If I had known then what I know now, because they say hindsight's 20/20, right? I would have given up the alcohol and taken up marijuana. The only reason I never smoked marijuana. When I smoked marijuana, I always got sick. Why? Because I would be drinking. I'd be at a dance or at a house party after a dance. And somebody would pass a joint around and I'd already be half cut and half liquored up. Somebody had offered me a joint and I'd smoke it. And the next thing you know, I'm driving the porcelain school bus and, trying to figure out if my toes are going to come out my mouth. Right. And I realized it started my trip with opioids started when I was 12, when they gave me Demerol after having my tonsils out and I couldn't stop throwing up. And they never associated it with the painkillers, right? So I realized then when I was like 19 that I couldn't drink and smoke pot at the same time, or I would have the effect of Demerol. It would have the effect of Demerol on me. And I would just lose my lunch every single time. So alcohol was legal and it was a lot cheaper than pot. So I didn't smoke pot. I think I smoked pot like 3 times throughout my whole growing up years. But when I got sober from alcohol in 1997, I never went near marijuana because I was taught in the recovery program I was in that a drug is a drug is a drug and it's all the same, right? Well, that's not necessarily true for it is for some people. Like I went and visited a friend who was in a program of recovery, and she said, "Oh no, a drug is a drug, and marijuana is a drug." And I put my hand on her knee and said, "Honey, it may be an issue for you, but it's not for me. It's never been an addiction issue. Alcohol was my drug of choice. I firmly went with alcohol over marijuana. So when my doctor finally, and the last thing they tried on me was a synthetic cannabis pill, a synthetic THC pill, and I reacted to it. Ads will run shortly. No, they won't, because I'm skipping them. So, back then, my doctor was like, but when I came back from the pain specialist in Gatineau, and he said, no, you've got classic fibromyalgia. And he's the one who said, they make a synthetic THC pill. I said, okay, give it to me. And then I reacted to it. And my family doctor just went, forget about it. So she sent me to a pain specialist in Ottawa who specialized in diagnosing and treating with marijuana. So that was in 2013. And then it became legal. And Howie was my legal designated grower, because I couldn't do it myself, because it's a lot of work. I can start them, but he grows it all. So canning turkey. Yeah. So the doctor told me, and this was before it was legal, the doctor said, okay, try some marijuana. And I said, I wouldn't even know where to find it. And she said, ask your husband. I'm sure he's got guys at work who'll know where to get some. But anyway, she said, try some, because there's no point in us going through a year-long, this was in 2012. So a year-long process. It took us a year to get legal. And then we got security cameras, because we were growing our own. It had to be in the greenhouse where it was locked, started in the house. Howie had to be fingerprinted. We had to inform the local police, the RCMP, the fire department. We had to let them know what our setup was. All of this 9 yards. Everybody had to be aware that we were growing marijuana, so that, they're not going to raid my greenhouse, right? They wouldn't raid my greenhouse, because they know we're legal, right? So I will be getting beans soon from Sam's Club, because my beans did nothing. Well, I'll tell you, mine aren't doing great. So I might go to the farmer's market in Kingston this weekend. So I tried the marijuana, and I slept. I got, Howie said, Bev, you slept 6 hours. So that's when the doctor said, okay. So she sent me to the specialist who, and he walked me through the process of getting legalized for me, legalized for Howie. And because they were getting rid of the growers program, the designated growers program. So he said, get your husband to apply for the designated growers program. And I said, why? They're getting rid of it. He said, but they haven't yet. And if he gets it before if he gets the license before they close the program, he'll be grandfathered in. Once he has the license, they can't take it away from him, right? Will be huge celebration. Yeah. Hey, hi, Karen. Oh, it's been a while. Have you thought about doing an autumn harvest of green beans? Well, I did plant 3 more beds of beans, and they're just starting. But I noticed now that I went out and picked today that I actually stirred up a lot of stuff. And when I sat back and looked, I could see all the blossoms that were hiding. Oh, it's so hot. So hot. So I don't want to get rid of marijuana. Why? Because marijuana isn't a painkiller. Here's what people need to know. And this better not be taken down for medical misinformation, because I know what I'm talking about, because I went through the whole process. So here's a disclaimer, folks. I have been a medical marijuana user since 2013. I am not endorsing any kind of illegal behavior. As a matter of fact, I had someone, a relative, bring his son up to me at my brother's celebration of life and say, well, ask Aunt Bev if she's got a joint. And I just looked at him and said, how old are you? Because it was his dad who said, ask Aunt Bev. I said, how old are you? And he said, I said, don't you lie to me, because this kid was taller than me. I said, don't lie to me. And he said, I'm 14. I said, I don't ever ask me for marijuana unless you're 21 years old. I said, your brain is still forming. Okay. And you're still growing up to the age of 21. So unless you're prescribed by a physician, don't ask me. Because if you go into a dispensary or any kind of store, they're going to ask you for ID. I will do no less. So yeah, it's like 85 degrees here. So this is my disclaimer. All right. I know what I'm talking about because I've done my research. And when I say I've done my research, I had an 18,000 subscriber Cooking with Cannabis channel on YouTube before they completely demonetized it and took it down. So here's what you need to know about marijuana. Marijuana is not a painkiller. Marijuana is a pain manager. Okay? It helps you manage the pain. One of the biggest problems about pain is what's the first thing they tell you when you're in labor and you're starting to get labor pains? Breathe. Breathe. Okay? Relax. And when the pain's really, right? Why? Because when you can breathe, you can relax your body, and relaxation helps you manage the pain, right? What does marijuana do? There are two strains of marijuana. Okay. Well, there's lots of strains, but there's two main kinds of marijuana. And one is a sativa, which is more of a neurological, put pep in your step, kind of, I got to get some work done, but I'm in a lot of pain. That's a sativa. Don't take it at nighttime. An indica, we joke, we say you're in the couch, right? So an indica is like a massive muscle relaxer. So when I medicate with marijuana, it helps the Tylenol do its job. Why? Because I'm relaxing. And the more you relax, the better you can manage your pain. Painkillers is a completely pharmaceutical thing. Okay? Painkillers kill pain. What's wrong with killing pain? Can anybody answer what's wrong with killing pain? Killing pain can make you think you're okay and you can do things you're not supposed to do. And you can damage yourself. Exactly. You're just masking it. See, marijuana helps me. Well, yeah, the pain's still there, but I don't care as much because I'm so relaxed. I'm just chilling. Right? Big difference, right? I've seen people come out of surgery, pop a couple of Demerol or morphine with a glass of rum, and they'd be dancing on a coffee table with 30 or 40 stitches up their belly or across their belly or up their back or whatever the case may be. That's the danger of painkillers. So this may get taken down for medical misinformation, but I don't think so because I've had to do my research. And the problem with me medicating with marijuana is that there's a lot of people in recovery in my friends and family circle. And since I started medicating with marijuana for pain, there's been a lot of people that I love and respect who stopped congratulating me on my sober birthdays. because they don't think they don't look at me as sober because I medicate with marijuana. Do I look stoned to you? Right? So, right? It's never been an addiction issue for me. Only alcohol was. And I'm really grateful that I'm allergic to opiates because they could have been a real problem. It's almost like God said, well, she's an alcoholic and she has food issues. She has emotional issues around food. Let's just make her allergic to the opiates. I don't think she could handle a third addiction because opiates are very, very addictive and nowadays deadly, right? So they sell Delta now at the dispensaries. What's Delta? Delta Dawn. So what I'm saying is I'm not encouraging any illegal behavior whatsoever, especially if you live in a place where marijuana is not legal. It is legal here. And even if it wasn't legal, I've been legal for 9 years. No, 11 years. I've been legal for 11 years. So long before it became. So, and it took a lot. And just Turdo gets in and makes it legal. Now, but mind you, there's a lot of depending on where you live, there's a lot of restrictions, unless you go to the reservation. So halfway down my road. Oh, cool. Oh, good for you, Terry. Unweed. I have insomnia. That's another thing. Remember that show? I don't know. It had Kathy Bates in it. And you don't have the balls to be this high. There was a lot of, this is one of the things I got a kick out of the show, but I really pissed about it too. There's a lot of things, a lot of misconceptions, right? Like, this will help your insomnia. It does help insomnia. It doesn't cure insomnia. Like my doctor wanted to just completely take me off lorazepam altogether. And I said, no. She said, well, you're on marijuana now. I said, marijuana doesn't cure insomnia. It helps the medication work, helps my insomnia meds work, but it doesn't, cure insomnia. It doesn't. It's like anything else. It helps. Okay? Doesn't kill pain, doesn't cure insomnia, right? Exactly. He has a tube to his stomach for water on the brain, and he is essentially a 36-year-old body with a 15-year-old mind, and he has anger issues. Who's this, Lacey? Who are we talking about? Hey, Stacy. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Yeah. Well, see, I have been on taking I went off my edibles for a couple of days because my tolerance is, I've been on edibles for weeks now, and my tolerance is building up really strongly. But until I get my lorazepam, I can't stop taking my edibles, because if I don't take my edibles and I don't take my lorazepam, I'm going to be up all night, and I'm going to be in a really rough way the next day. So I said to Howie last night, I said, so if you wake up in the middle of the night and I got a chip bag stuck to my face, it's because I had to do more gummies than normal because I'm without my sleep meds. So for my boyfriend, because of his anger issues, when he is in the couch, he's very calm. Six plants without a card. You know how many I could have? We could have we could have 19 plants in different stages of growth. So in other words, it's like if you were growing them, it depends. If you're growing hydroponic, I could have 19 plants. I think it was 5 mature plants, and I could have up to 2 pounds at any 2 pounds, because that's what I would use in a year, roughly. I'll be honest, Rosie, I used to remember the words, but since it's been 5 years, my brain has not bounced back from the stroke. So I'm pretty sure it's never going to bounce back, unfortunately. What are we talking about? Okay, so is this your boyfriend who's what happened that he, that he's the way, what happened? My last plants, Blue Dream, were taller than me. Oh, mine are always like 10 feet, right? But they're spindly in the greenhouse because the greenhouse doesn't get enough sunlight. We got to remove some of the trees, and we've got to redo the whole thing in clear panels instead of metal. Oh, water on the brain. I have cookies stuck to my face in the morning. I've never had Blue Dream. I don't even know what I'm growing. I got 3 plants of bubble gum. They turned out not to be autoflower. Yay! And I have 2 blueberry and 1 blueberry AK-47 cross. I have 6 plants, I think. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand? So he was born with water on the brain so they could have a shunt from his head to his stomach, and he has to push a button every night. This is your boyfriend? So anyway, I know people who can't take indica because it gives them anxiety, because they get into a body stone where their body is just so relaxed, you're melted into the couch or whatever. And they have anxiety because it's like they don't feel comfortable being not in control. Whereas me, I go, yeah, Have you tried natural approaches, blue vervain and many others? Are you talking to me, April? Because this is something I've told people in the past. Just because it's natural doesn't mean I won't be allergic to it. As a matter of fact, put it this way, opiates, pharmaceutical opiates, are the pharmaceutical cheaper version of Mother Nature's opium. Comes from opium, the opium poppy. And that's where you get like heroin and stuff from, is from opium. Okay. So if I had tried heroin, thank you, God. If I had ever tried heroin, it could have killed me the first time, very first time. Even if it's the more pure, it probably would have killed me, because it's more pure than the stuff that the pharmaceutical industry is a chemical. Things are rebuilt. They take things that work in nature and then rebuild them cheaper and faster, pharmaceutically and chemically, right? So I can't take Valium. Sends me through the roof, right? I can't take Valium. I can't take Librium. Well, I can take it, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to. Doesn't do what it's supposed to. Just found out what they give me when hey, Linda, how was it your colonoscopy that was rescheduled, or have you had it, and how are things going? It explains why, because when they did Howie's stents in his heart, they shot him up with this stuff. Same stuff they used for my colonoscopy. And apparently it's Valium. It's like injectable Valium. And so there's no wonder I stayed awake and filmed my entire colonoscopy. Because I was awake for it all. Right? Well, that's the problem. See, if I take a too high, I can't take anything that's higher than a 60% sativa because I will have bad panic attacks. Right? I don't mind if it's a 50-50 blend. That's good for me to get work done. But it is anything higher. Like I had Cinderella 99 once, and it was 90% sativa, and it was during the pandemic. Because I had gone from 60 to 30 lorazepam, but during the pandemic, the doctor had to put me back up to 35 because I was having panic attacks in stores because they were forcing me to wear a mask. So, well, the thing is the opiates that they're putting out there now, things are being cut with fentanyl and all kinds of shit. And fentanyl's being cut with other crap, and it's just dangerous stuff. It's just the opioid crisis is horrible, right? Take a TB castor oil. What is a TB castor oil? Propofol for colonoscopy. Reschedule for September. Oh my God, I hope you didn't go through all the preparation first. Did you go through all the preparation first, honey? Oh, I hope not. So Propofol, I believe, is like the injectable version of Valium. So I don't know these things. I just know what works for me and what doesn't. And when I used the Cindy 99, I had a really bad panic attack. Not like a heart attack, but I realized that I was going to start screaming at people and throwing things. And I realized it was just complete agitation. I had to grip the side of the island and just stand there and do breathing exercises and, until I calmed down. My sister went to touch me. I said, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Right. So, I am going to go and have a swim. You're allergic to the colonoscopy prep. Ooh. It wasn't clear. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now, guys. I'm gonna go have a swim and make myself a bowl of magnesium citrate, dinner and jellies. So catch you on the next live, which will probably be tomorrow while I'm cutting up beans and cukes and stuff for pickles. I was awake for both TKR. It was cool, except for the smell of bone cutting. Ooh, it wouldn't faze me because I've butchered before. So I love you, everybody. Good night. God bless. Remember, everything I said is my experience, my experience and my research. Do your own research. I am not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I just know me, and that's all I can do. Right? I love you. Take care. God bless. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on a live stream while I'm cutting up beans and cubes. Mwah! Have a good sleep.